So again, struck quote. There is 1 week left until Tiny Tina's Wonderlands launches on March 25th, 2022, and I want to bring you some useful content that might be helpful to all of you before the game launches. And today I will be making a video for every class. What are the class feats, the action skills, the passive skills, and so on. So this video is about the Brr-Zerker. Brr-Zerkers are tenacious frost-infused bruisers who complement their firepower with an onslaught of brutal, up-close and personal melee attacks. When confronted with a problem, a Brr-Zerker's first instinct is to turn it into a popsicle and punch their way to a solution. Brr-Zerkers are hardy warriors who hail from the frozen mountains, with a long line of ancestors who trained their bodies to withstand and even harness the bitter cold of icy winters. In battle, Brr-Zerkers prefer to do their fighting up close and personal, taking point on the front lines as a whirling maelstrom of exceptionally chilly death. Let's provide you with some information about the class first. Brr-Zerkers are specialists of melee and frost damage, and you might wonder why frost damage? Well, frost damage is the equivalent of cryo. When enemies are frozen, they take 3 times the damage. This is why they've decided to make it a synergy in this game with melee, like it was in Borderlands 3 and cryo. So normally in games, in RPGs, Brr-Zerkers are tied to fire. Fire and Brr-Zerker is normally the synergy, but I like in this game it being frost. There aren't that many games that synergize frost with Brr-Zerkers, and in this game it even makes sense to do it due to the synergy between freezing and melee damage. The Brr-Zerkers' otherworldly powers allow them to become enraged via their action skills, channel the power of frost through weaponry so that they may freeze and shatter their enemies, and manifest an arsenal of raw destructive force. Brr-Zerkers are even able to channel their bloodthirst by leeching life from fallen foes using a dash of occult magic. The Brr-Zerkers' class feat is called Rage of the Ancients. Using an action skill causes the Fate Maker to become enraged, adding bonus frost damage to their attacks. Enrage duration will not deplete while an action skill is active and ends if the Fate Maker enters Save Your Soul. Activating an action skill when already enraged restores a portion of the enrage timer. Very interesting class feat, and since you only have 1 class feat, it is something to keep in mind when going for a main Brr-Zerker hero, considering you cannot change your main hero choice. Now let's have a look at the other skills, the action skills and the passives. The 2 action skills are Dreadwind and Feral Surge. For Dreadwind, it's your typical spin to win setup build kind of skill. The Fate Maker spins, slashing anything nearby with their melee weapon and essentially becoming a pain tornado. Grants increased movement speed and slow immunity for a duration. Big ups for this last line on that skill. Now, Feral Surge. The Fate Maker leaps towards their target, dealing frost damage to all nearby enemies. Any non-boss enemies damaged will be instantly killed, if their total HP is below a certain percentage. If Feral Surge kills an enemy, its cooldown is reset, which is fucking amazing. Now let's go over the passive skills of the Brr-Zerker class. In tier 1 we have 3 of them. Ancestral Frost, which has 5 points maximum investment. It increases the frost damage. Savagery, again, you can invest up to 5 points in this one. It increases the melee damage as well as the enrage duration. Then you have Unyielding. This is a 3 points maximum investment. A percentage of missing HP regenerates over time. While enraged, this effect is doubled. Moving on to the tier 2, we have 3 again. Icebreaker is a 3 points maximum investment skill. The Fate Maker gains increased damage dealt to enemies that are swallowed. The closer an enemy is to being frozen, the more damage is increased. The Old Ways is a 5-point investment skill. The Fate Maker deals bonus damage and gains increased damage reduction the closer they are to the enemy. The closer the enemy is, the greater the bonus. Then Instinct, 3 points investment. Reload speed is increased. Weapon swap speed is increased. While enraged, this effect is doubled. Moving on to the tier 3 skills, there's again 3 of them. Cold Snap gives you movement speed increase. It's a 3-point maximum investment. It also gives you frost efficiency increase. It also gives you while enraged, this effect is doubled. Unarmored Defense, a 1-point investment. A portion of the Fate Maker's sword is reserved and cannot be restored, but their maximum health is increased by a percentage of the reserved amount. Health can no longer be reserved. Then Blood Frenzy, a 3-point investment skill. Q skill. Restore a percentage of your enrage timer and a percentage of your maximum HP. On Q, obviously, that's what the Q skill is. Moving on to tier 4, there is only 2 of them. Ancient Fury is a 5-point maximum skill. Maximum health is increased. Splash damage is increased. Relentless Rage, a 1-point investment skill. If the Fate Maker damages an enemy while in Save Your Soul, its duration is extended. The amount extended decreases over time. Killing an enemy while in Save Your Soul will cause the Fate Maker to become enraged. Tier 5. Blast Chill. Whenever this is a 1-point maximum investment. Whenever the Fate Maker deals melee damage to an enemy, there is a chance to release a Frost Nova, dealing frost ability damage to nearby enemies. Frost Nova cannot critically hit. The other tier 5 skill is Iron Squall, 5-point maximum investment. Fire rate is increased. Melee attack speed is increased. While enraged, this effect is doubled. And tier 6, the capstone, as it's normally called, Blood of the Fallen. 1-point maximum investment. Q skill. The Fate Maker's remaining action skill cooldown is reduced by a percentage. If an action skill is currently active, its duration is extended instead. And there's something amazing about this one, because you can try and get an action skill from another class as well, and you can have the capstone of the Brr-Zerker, but use an action skill that is not a Brr-Zerker one, and this one will still help. So there's some very good synergies here with multi-class. All over the board. So yeah, that's it for the passive skills. I hope you've got some crazy ideas. I know I have some crazy ideas for builds. If I have some time, I'll try to make some build theory crafts before the game launches. For those of you out there, if you have certain builds that you want to see theory crafted, like you give me class and subclass and you say, hey Struck, I want a build for this class and that subclass, what would you suggest in terms of skills? Obviously we don't know what the gear is, so I can only suggest skills. Tell me, I'll do that before the game launches. I'll try to find time to push out a few theory crafts the way I did with Borderlands 3. Keep in mind you can subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button to not miss out notifications for more Wooter and not so Wooter content like this one or others like builds and guides. There's also memberships on my channel, which is a monthly recurring payment that you can cancel at any time, which will grant you access to special perks like emotes or badges made by me, as well as the option to ask me one-on-one for tutorials on Discord about Photoshop, Premiere and After Effects, just the basics though. Thanks again for watching all the way until the end, Struck Weapon. Till next time and goodbye.